It's Talking Town and it's live. It's Sunday afternoon and we are here to break down Leicester City 3, Ipswich Town 1. A frustrating, a disgusting, frankly, afternoon for the Blues as they travel to take on Leicester. We've got Town in 60, we've got likes and dislikes and the flashpoints, and it's live. Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome one, welcome all. We've got a bit festive here at Talking Town. It's about as festive as I'm going to get, all right? So no one asked for the Santa to come back that was on the show 3 or 4 years ago. He's been relegated to the bench, as will some of the Town players in the next game, I am sure. As always, we can't break it down without you wonderful people at home, whether watching live or on catch-up. So thank you for joining us live. Get active in our live chat. I will show it on the screen throughout the course of the show, and of course we'll bring your comments in and build the show around what you want to talk about. If you're watching on catch up, leave your comments, and we are brought to you in association with 2 wonderful sponsors this afternoon, 3 wonderful sponsors, but first of all, of course, Match Bingo. We've combined with them to give you a 100% deposit bonus when you use the word Town, all in caps. That word is Town, all in caps, and you get a 100% deposit bonus. The minimum is £10, and while this bonus cash and can't be withdrawn, the winnings absolutely can be. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions do apply. Please gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. But Match Bingo combine the thrill of football with the thrill of bingo. And I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Matthew Phillips. And we are going to do Town in 60 seconds to kick off the show. This is where we get 60 seconds just to let it rip. Now, normally we want praise, but after yesterday, I don't think we're going to get it. We might do. We did win 2 games during this week, of course. But it's our Town in 60. Whatever you want to say, whatever on your heart, your mind, whatever you feel, it's over to you. So, Matthew, you got 60 seconds, and I'll take the mic and I'll have 60 seconds. But if you're ready, sir, kick us off. Give us a starter for 60.
I feel like we probably need more than 60 seconds after yesterday. Well, as you know, man, I've been laid low this week with the super flu. They're calling it in the news, aren't they? / man flu. All I know is I've been spluttering a bit like we did yesterday. A very disappointing performance. One that didn't really surprise me, really, because I watched the Stoke game where we scored within a minute or whatever it was, minute and a half. Did very little, I thought, in the remaining 89 minutes. And that kind of went into the game yesterday at the King Power, really. Did very little over 90 minutes. And that's a worry now, isn't it? Because you look at the away form was on quite a nice little trajectory, wasn't it? You had the win at QPR, Swansea, Hull, and now you're coming off the back of these away performances against Oxford, Blackburn, and then Leicester yesterday. Flattering to deceive, really. And it's our home form that has been getting us over the line. But that isn't going to get us over the line into the top 2, I don't think, solely on its own.
Yeah, Leicester says gutless. Adrian says did not turn up when we attack. Hurst meant to take the defender out of position to make space. We'll talk about George Hurst and I'm sure the rest of the team throughout the course of the show. But we've got very similar Town in 60s, me and you there, Matt, because it's going to focus on that one. And I'll go now. All right, I'll have a Town in 60. I don't normally have a Town in 60. Normally have people on the show. That means I don't have to do a Town in 60, but we're gonna do it. Okay, I'll go. So first of all, has anyone got Kevin Minch's phone number? Because we are a little bit brittle and we are a little bit, well, when we concede, it all goes wrong. You may as well pack up, turn the TV off, make your way to the car park if you're in the stadium, because Town go a goal behind. The stats tell you, the eye test tells you it isn't going to be good. So if you've got Kevin Minch's phone number, we may need it, because I don't know if he's still working at the football club, but if he isn't, give him a call. Because our home form, as you say, Matt, is already at promotion level. We're averaging 2 points a game there, right? So it's already at promotion level at home, but it's the waveform. That's the way the clear gap comes into it. On the road, we've taken 12 points from 10, just 1.2 points per match, and 4 of those have ended in defeat. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we've got to get tighter. We've got to manage the game better. We've got to really, when our backs are against the wall, as you expect as the away team, stand up and sort of be counted. Because yesterday, again, we started the game, Matt, and we gave Leicester far, far too much respect for me. We stood off. We allowed them to play. We allowed them to get comfortable on the ball. And if you look at the away defeats, and I know I've gone over, but if you look at the away defeats, Matt, you don't manage the game. Like, so you start yesterday, you go goal behind inside 8 minutes. You can either criticize the goalkeeper, say it's a world-class strike, do whatever you want to do, but it's 8 minutes, we're a goal behind. You look at Oxford, it's 1-1. We pump a long ball forward to Marcelinho Nunez. They break on us, 2-1. You look at Middlesbrough, inside that 10-minute period, not managing the game correctly either side of half-time. It's simple moments like that for me, Matt.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's really weird, isn't it? Because like in the Premier League, some of our best moments came away from home, like against Spurs, for example, and the win at Bournemouth and stuff. These were far better performances against far better clubs than what you're seeing here. But yeah, I mean, there was the stat, wasn't there? What was it, like 30 plus games or whatever, where Ipswich conceded first and end up losing the game or whatever it is. And we know that when teams have come to Portman Road and put bodies behind the ball, like Wrexham did, we find it very difficult to break teams down. And I see we was over 500 passes again yesterday. So once you go 1 down, 2 down, Ipswich ain't getting back into these games, are they? This is the thing. And the only reason we're winning the games, you know, the only reason we beat Stoke in the week on Wednesday night was thanks to another Philogene wonder strike. The problem is Philogene doesn't play like that away from home, does he? He's almost like an anonymous presence. Really.
Well, if you look back at the game yesterday, it's clear to see the Leicester game plan in terms of who do you need to stop, because every time Jaden Philogene got that ball, there was normally 2 or 3 Leicester City players swarming to him. Yeah. Clearly, you stop Jaden, you can stop Town. And you're right. Unless Jaden pulls something out, we don't generally seem to have those sort of magic little moments. But we're talking, you know, little moments of away from. It's just if we can increase that from a 1.2, 1.4 area of points, we can then go on, because it's the away from that's going to let you down. And Matt, you may need to play 2 games away from home, the playoff semi and the playoff final, if the playoffs is the way Town are going to go. But you're going to have to really improve that away from. For me, it starts with being stronger when the chips are down. You go a goal down, it can't continue, mate. Something has to change, whether it's a game management approach, a formation approach. But the stats tell you, Matt, when Town go goal down, turn the TV off, rip your ticket up, go home, because it ain't looking good.
No, it's not. You need other players to step up, don't you? You can't build on Philogene. I mean, he's the top scorer at the moment, isn't he? With 7, he's scored some tremendous goals. But like I say, they're a bit of a different beast away from home. He is marked a little bit more heavily. I mean, I was amazed Stoke let him have that shot on Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? Within the first minute or whatever it was. But you need other players to step up. And, you know, I go back to the Stoke game again. You know, like Ivan had that chance, didn't he? Where he blazed it into the top tier of the Alf Ramsey when they're the 2 players on the line. The other players don't step up for us. And you know, yesterday, Nunez, Clark, they can all deliver a shot from outside the box, all have that spark creativity that could get you back into the game. But as it is, we talk about Philogene wonder strikes. We actually got that Cordova Reed. I mean, that was a hell of a strike. But again, architects of our own downfall. I mean, I see people sort of moaning about Walton here. I mean, this is the fickleness of fans that annoys me, really, because 1 minute Walton's fantastic, makes that save against Coventry last Saturday. Everyone thinks he's brilliant. You see the Coventry pods, oh, what a save that was onto the post and all that kind of thing. Then, for whatever reason, he's culpable for these goals yesterday.
Well, we're going to, and that's going to obviously dominate the flashpoints in just a moment. Yeah. But if we bring the audience into the conversation, we've got Turbo, the team's weak, have no fight, disgusting performance. Walt made some great saves, says Mark from Suffolk, against Swansea and Coventry. Nothing you could do against the Worldies. Second one is clearly direct to be so high when we have the set piece or the ball. Graham says bring back Palmer and Greaves. So a lot of different opinions, different conversations coming into it.
People do this all the time. This is, you know, we do every single game. We see this all. Yeah,
but it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or in this case, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, you've just flushed Oxford and Blackburn away. You've just absolved that from the memory because you've had 2 fantastic home wins where you've scored 4 goals and picked up 6 points. But then you go on the road against Leicester, who. Look, we struggle against Leicester. Let's be honest. Let's be real. We struggled last year against them.
Since December 2002. I was amazed by that.
Exactly. Well, this is it.
Can you remember who got the goals there? It was a 2-1 win, wasn't it? I looked it up earlier.
2002. Let's go Alan Armstrong and Marcus Bent.
Darren Ambrose, Thomas Gardso.
Oh, Thomas Gardso, what a player! What a player he was. He left sadly before we could really see the type of player he was going to become. But you know, you've just flushed those. You've just got the crowd, if you like, back on side, believing in this team, and then of course you go on the road and you turn in a performance like that, and then you get comments. And this is not the only one I've seen from Mike D. Not much to like about this squad, both personality and performance. And that is not the only comment I've seen in that regard across social media.
But, you know, we know Mike well, don't we? He's a friend of the show for years. But no one was saying this after we just done the league leaders 3-0 last week.
But this is it. This is the 2 steps forward, the 1 step back. And
but that's the championship for you, Martin. 1 week we're beating Coventry.
Well, it's Ipswich for you, Matthew.
Who are on a tear, 3-0. And everyone thinks we're going to be automatic promotion and we're going to catch Coventry and we'll be lifting the trophy. 7 days later, we lose 3-1 at Leicester, just showing you how narrow the gap is between the quality of the sides, I think, week to week. And now it's all doom and gloom again. I mean, you got, and then who's on the horizon next? Sheffield Wednesday come into town with their -9 points, and everyone will be in the week going, oh, will we beat them 6-0 again, like we did when Danny Roll was in charge there, and we clean housed them easy. There'll be that sense of entitlement coming just because they're not very good at the moment.
Just trying to sort my light out, just because I don't think I've got it on the right setting. But so apologies there. £2 super sticker from Stephen. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a bit of a mood setting, that one. It's a little bit darker than normal.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't normally play around with it. I've got a new camera, Matthew. I've got a new camera.
Oh, yes, you told me about
still trying to make it all link together. I did a couple of videos yesterday for the members only, but I flushed them down the toilet because the camera kept sort of stopping on me, so they never saw the light of day. They really didn't, and it's a shame because it was directly after the match reaction show yesterday, and I was absolutely fuming. STSD reminds me of McKenna first half of season League One. We need a season to get 20 to get that 20p gel going. 20p. Can you still buy 20p gel? That is the question.
What, hair gel?
Yeah, you used to be able to buy 20. You used to be able to buy 20p. Yeah, absolutely.
Was it like blue or something? Was it like that blue one? You get in tubs.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, you used to. And I remember when I was like 17. You put it out and you stick your hair as spikes. God, those were the days.
Was it?
That's just before you headed out and shouted, we want Majutin out.
It's going back then. Yeah.
Going back all the way to then. All right, let's do the flashpoint association with match bingo. Not many flashpoints for Town yesterday, but of course the dominating conversation there is the goals. The first one and the second one. Mike D says the 2 steps forward or the 2 Walton shuffles back. Where do you want to? Do you want to start in order with the first and then the second, or do you want to start with the second and the first? Go on, let's start with the first. So, from my perspective, Matt, I've been nice and easy. 2 Town players chase after the same ball. Yeah, a bit like at the birthday party I was at this morning, watching with my son, all playing football. They all just chased the ball, right, at that age. Yeah. That's what 2 Town players did there. They chased the ball. They both got beat. They're both immediately taken out of the game. The Leicester player's got plenty of time on the edge of the area, and he just picks his spot. Could Walton have moved his feet better? Over to you.
Maybe. But again, the culpability comes down to Nunes and Clark. Because that Luke Thomas, the number 33, I think he was, terrible control. And we've got 2 Town players there can actually clear it.
Yeah.
As much as we like those two, but very half-hearted. And the fact they thought that chance, there wasn't really a chance to score there, I don't think, is why D. Cordova-Reid has so much space. But he's done exactly what Philogene has done to opposition.
Yeah,
and we got done. We got done with a taste of our own medicine, really, and it was a really good strike. And I don't know whether or not Walton could have got there. I mean, he's not my height, is he? He's what, 6'6" or something. It was a really good quality strike, and but we could have cleared the ball. That's the thing I'm saying. Nunes and Clark, they were half-hearted, sort of.
We don't need 2 of them. You don't need
it goes through Nunes' legs.
But 2 Town players don't need to go and press that ball. Yeah, they don't need to go and press that ball. They get sucked in and they get beaten. And then you've got, of course, got a big issue. issue.
Well, yeah, and Matasiwa is the player that's sort of looking to block the shot, isn't he? And he doesn't get there either. And maybe Matasiwa was blocking Walton, if you want to give Walton the benefit of the doubt a little bit, I guess. But a quality, look, if you look at right across the media, everyone said quality strike from D. Cordova-Reid puts Leicester 1 up. There's no point us here saying he should have done better or whatever, because we've seen Philogene do do that plenty of times this season to opposition at Portman Road. And,
Yeah.
but Nunes and Clark should have been stronger. Certainly when Thomas has miscontrolled the ball already and he's had to stick a leg out, somehow goes through Nunes' legs, and D. Cordova-Reid scores it. So, but then it goes back to what we said at the top, doesn't it? Now we're a goal down. And our stats in chasing games, certainly away from home, isn't very good.
Turn the box off. Leave the stadium. That's what the stats tell you to do. Turn the box off and leave the stadium because it isn't going to go the town way. And I just want to say thank you to Stephen for the super sticker. I'm not sure I did that because I was in the middle of doing my lights, but Stephen, thank you ever so much for the super sticker. If I've done it twice, have it twice. I really appreciate it. That's how much I do appreciate the support that you all show this platform. We've got a comment here, which I'm going to pull up. I'm going to leave it until we've finished the flashpoint. I'm going to pull it up because I think it needs to be addressed by Matthew. Apparently the cold has made you very tame, first of all. All right. So
medication.
Yeah. Let's get going, Matt. Let's get going with this one. Simon Harris. This squad won't gel under an overrated manager. Expect inconsistency, says Simon Harris, 5804.
So McKenna's suddenly overrated.
Well, is he overrated? I mean, he's one of, the stats tell you what the stats tell you. Stats don't care for your feelings. Is he overrated? That's the question from Simon.
Well, he's done nearly 200 games, hasn't he? Wasn't it like yesterday, 195th game or something? So he's fast approaching 200. I mean, certainly he was a fish out of water last season, I think, in the Premier League, wasn't he? And
is he still naive tactically?
I don't think he's.
Well, what tactic? 4-2-3-1. That's it.
I wouldn't say he's naive particularly. I mean, I've said I thought he was maybe a little bit arrogant last season in that he felt that our tactics could go toe to toe with Liverpool, Man City, or whatever.
Incorrect, isn't it?
And
it's incorrect.
I would like to have seen us cut our cloth accordingly to actually giving us a chance to stay in the division. I mean, I was chatting to friends this morning and said, well, actually, you look at Wolves at the moment, sitting at the bottom of the Premier League with 2 points. We were well above them, weren't we, at the Christmas point, having won at Molineux with the Jack Taylor header and all that kind of thing. And for whatever reason, after that, we always say it, don't we? After Fulham at Craven Cottage, it went downhill after that, didn't it?
It did.
For whatever reason. I don't think he's naive tactically. I do think he's too tied to one system. And we've had Henry Winter come on this show and we interviewed him and said, Vincent Kompany's downfall at Burnley he was too tied to one system. Obviously, it's working out all right for him in the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, isn't it? But yeah,
as it should.
I mean, people were floating yesterday, weren't they? That Ian Westlake was saying on Town TV, "Oh, Kieran should try a different formation." I think you put that in the Discord, didn't you? Going, well, hasn't he not watched the other 200 games of McKenna? He never changes formation, does he? He never really changes the tactic, particularly. I think it's
that's his big negative for me. That's his big negative, that it never changes. Like even like yesterday, when you perhaps have to put Ashley Young in the centre of midfield. You're not looking at
on the show a while back, wasn't it? Oh, Ashley Young could, if Matasiwa got that other yellow, he could play in there. Well, you saw it yesterday, didn't you?
And then he makes the change, and and then that for me is his biggest is my biggest criticism. And also when he gets it right from the bench, he gets it really right, Kieran. But when he gets it wrong, my God, does he get it wrong? Like yesterday, the subs. Like we've just gone, 2-0 down inside the second half.
Yeah.
You could have made you could have made all 5 changes on 55 minutes and no one would have batted an eyelid and thought, that's a bit of an overreaction. Because the game was getting away from you or gone away from you or whatever it might have been at that point in time. But still, it's just we keep going and we keep playing the same way, the same formation, or the same subs on the same minute point, and it's just a bit too samey.
But long-term viewers of the show will know we said exactly the same about Paul Cook, didn't we? You used to say, "What's Paul Cook's plan B? Is it plan A again?"
Miles Kellogg up front.
It's plan A again, just with different players, and effectively, McKenna has fallen into that. I think it's unfair to say that he's overrated. I mean,
I agree.
He's delivered 2 of the most fantastic seasons we've seen in Portman Road in God knows how many decades. So I have a bit more respect for him for that. But certainly I think he got found out last season. And for whatever reason, they've decided that, Wolfenden had to move on. Chaplin had to move on. Obviously Delap and Hutchinson sold for big fees. And he's had to put this newish squad together. Now, whether or not it's going to turn a corner a little bit in 2026 remains to be seen. But I mean, we have had some good. on the back of defeats, everyone forgets this, but 7 days ago, we've just been in Coventry 3-0, really great performance. And as we said earlier, everyone's thinking we're going to win the title. We have delivered our first East Anglian derby win in, 100 years or whatever it was this season. Demolished Sheffield United 5-0. So we've had moments. I mean, the Swansea 4-1, QPR 4-1, everyone was loving those away wins. I know Swansea was a bit lucky when it was Cam Burgess thought he was still with us. Scored 3 goals. But so we got a bit lucky there. By the same token, you could say Walton was unlucky yesterday. We'll come to that goal in a minute. But to call McKenna, back to the main point, to call McKenna overrated, I think is disrespectful, to be honest with you.
I think it's a bit too strong. I agree. Yeah. And disrespectful. Yeah. Later said our midfield struggled yesterday, almost non-existent. And of course, that second goal comes from Town losing the ball. It's a stray pass. Leicester picked the ball up inside their own half. And look, I'm going to defend Walton's positioning because and I said live yesterday after the game, I've got zero problems with Christian Walton's starting position. He's not too high. He's not too deep. He's exactly where he needs to be. The ball is inside the Leicester halfway point. At no point as a goalkeeper do you think, oh my days, I'm too far out. This is going to be a goal at that point.
Yeah.
The Leicester player then strikes it, and he strikes it well, and it ends up being a really good goal. My problem with Christian Walton, and I know I'm in no position to really criticise anybody's footwork because my footwork is abysmal and non-existent. But I just feel his footwork there is not great, and it's if you look at the ball when it sort of it hits the 18-yard box and comes down. If his footwork's a little bit better, a little bit faster, he could be getting to that. It doesn't like sort of drop inside the goal. It drops about the 6-yard box, 7-8-yard box. I just feel his footwork there is not what he would like it to be.
Difficult. I think people of his height, it's difficult, isn't it? You look sort of gangly, ungainly when you're running like that, I guess. Look, Walton's not to blame for this. Dar O'Shea's actually to blame for this. We actually have possession of the ball. And as I said before, McKenna, 200 games nearly. You see the keepers there all the time, be it Muric, be it Palmer, be it Walton. They're always in that position. The problem, and we've got possession of the ball in the Leicester half. The problem is O'Shea's lousy pass straight to Fatawu. Philogene doesn't get to it. Taylor then allows himself to be nutmegged by Fatawu, and then he hits the shot, doesn't he? Like a tee shot off on a golf course, doesn't he? And then suddenly that's now forced Walton into backtracking, and it's very difficult, I think, for someone of his size to be running backwards trying to look at the ball. I mean, he's hit it brilliantly for Fatawu. I mean, if it had bounced a centimetre either side or whatever, probably would have hit the bar or bounced and gone over the bar. So, I mean, it was just a great hit. I mean, when was the last time you saw an Ipswich keeper beating like that? I was trying to rack my brains today. Tell me in the comments. I couldn't think of one.
Can't.
So it doesn't happen very often, does it? It was just sod's law. It happened yesterday when we won down. But no blame on Walton. And if it was his mistake, then I felt sorry for him because they all bleed and go and celebrate in front of him, don't they?
I know. I completely agree. Yeah, I was not a fan of that.
I mean, they've literally run from their own half straight to our goal and celebrate, which I thought was a bit of a piss take, to be honest. So I felt really sorry for him having to stand there while they were probably running back and mugging him off a bit. But so that was poor, I think, from them. But I mean, as I said, Walton against Swansea, brilliant reflex save onto the post, across the line. Matasiwa clears it. Everyone thought that was the game-changing save. Last week against Coventry, on brilliant hand onto the post. Fantastic save. You can't week to week be going, oh, he's been brilliant there and shit the following week.
Mike D says Clive Baker beating on his line versus Villa. Dean Saunders.
All right, well, that's going back 30 years, isn't it?
It's going back some years, that, isn't it? Look, I'm not blaming Christian Walton for it. I'm just critiquing the footwork in the back pedal. But really, it's picky. It's looking at it and thinking, could it have been better? Probably, but it's still a good goal from a player that's seen it, and you see it throughout football these days, Matt. It's becoming more and more, because and why is it becoming more prevalent in football? Because players, they watch a lot of film and they see a lot of goalkeepers in that position, and they think they can have a go and try their luck, and he did, and it went in. And Rob says David Seaman was always getting beat from halfway. Poor old.
Naive from the halfway line.
One of my favourite players is David Seaman. But in terms
Clive
of
Baker was a keeper of my height, I think.
Yeah, my dad never liked Clive Baker as a goalkeeper. Rob says, I think those goals are so unusual. The greatest keeper in the world gets caught out with goals like that. They're a freak. There wasn't enough about our overall performance. And I agree. And it's the turnovers. And I mentioned on Wednesday in my reaction from the car, turnovers on Wednesday, we kept turning the ball over. And that goal there was another turnover from Town where it was needless. It was a poor pass and away they went.
That Stoke, I saw it, Mike. That Stoke game, because like McKenna said, that was a really, really good game. I think it was that good a game, to be honest with you.
I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
We were pretty much toothless, as I said at the top. I thought we was pretty much toothless after taking the lead in 70 seconds or whatever it was. And, you've just seen the knock-on effects of that performance going to the Leicester game. I mean, you'd seen that away from home already. The Blackburn game was a disaster, wasn't it? I mean, we got out of jail there. We should have lost that game. We've lost that game twice, pretty much. The rained off one. And then we've had to score the last kick in the 95th minute or whatever, Egley, to get us a point, get us out of dodge with a point there. And we shot ourselves in the foot against Oxford, didn't we? As you rightly said earlier, we've got the ball over the top. Passing and passing and passing. What is it? Route one over the top. And the ex-Norwich lad, doesn't he? Goes on and scores. And again, I don't know. It just seems to be void of creativity away from home, and it exposes the likes of Hurst, doesn't it? Because anyone starts.
We'll come to George Hurst. Believe me, I've got a lot to say on George Hurst.
He had the least amount of touches of, again, I've said this stat before this season. He had the least amount of touches of anyone on the pitch yesterday. I think it was 13 or 14 or something, and it exposes him because if Philogene isn't firing and Clark isn't firing and Nunes isn't firing, then he's, as Arnold Muren used to say, Colin will remember this, Arnold Muren used to say, if you don't give me the ball, then I'm just running around. I might as well just be into athletics, not a footballer.
Well,
and it kind of exposes him in the same position as well. And I don't think the answer is either Akpom or Ivan, to be honest with you. Certainly not Ivan after what I saw Wednesday night. I mean, I like Ivan. I'm sure if we met him, we'd really like him. He comes across as someone with energy and really part of the group and eager to do well. I really like it. His finishing is bloody lousy.
Well, he lacked composure, certainly on Wednesday, for example. He lacked that composure.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been on about this week, but I mean, I just couldn't believe he missed that. He stuck it into the top tier of the churchmen.
But that's composure from a young player, isn't it? And he's young. He's still a young player. And he
scored against Coventry.
Developing.
I mean, I was delighted. He did score against Coventry. But if you're looking for consistency across the season when your George Hurst isn't firing, we haven't seen it with Akpom and you haven't really seen it with Ivan. And that I mean, it comes back to the eternal conversation. Who do we sign in January to try and alleviate that pressure?
At this rate, anybody.
Well, I can't even think of anybody. I mean, would it be someone who'd come in from abroad? Who'd want to even lose a number 9 that's doing probably pretty well at the moment for them, or is sitting on the bench in the Premier League and would come in if there was a player injured, like we got with Keith Moore at Bournemouth, for example?
Well, we don't have the benefit of the dashboard or agents' phone numbers or club phone numbers. So it's always hard to say who's available and what's going on because you never know what the situation at any football club with any player is around the globe. But on the third, before we finish the flashpoints, obviously they did get a third. Look, Christian Walton for the third is in no man's land. I don't know quite his positioning for that isn't great. Go back and watch it. If you tell me he's not in no man's land, then we'll have a conversation about it. But
we don't defend for those goals very well. We've conceded a lot of goals into the box, to the byline, into the middle. That's happened a lot this season. I'm thinking Watford and Middlesbrough to name but two. Was Davis tripped by Fatari?
Well, this is it. So really, it's Davis's poor defending. Was he tripped, Joe? I don't think it was a foul, right? I don't think it was a foul.
I think he was tripped,
But I don't think it was a foul. But I'm amazed there wasn't a foul given because normally 9 times out of 10 in football, in a situation like that, the referee would have blown the whistle.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if they score a goal from it and you're not 100% sure, there's that conversation. So normally I would have seen the whistle go there, but it wasn't. It wasn't a foul for me either. So that's probably why it wasn't given. It's poor defending. The keeper's in no man's land, and then it's in the back of the net. And it's game over. Yeah. And at that point, you might as well stick on. I don't know, whatever you want to stick on the TV.
Once Davis had gone down,
Crossroads.
Crossroads, yeah. It certainly feels like we're at a crossroads, doesn't it? In the kind of challenge for the top two. Yeah. I mean, once Davis goes down, it falls to their captain, doesn't it? That Pereira, and he just sticks it into the middle, and AU taps it home, basically, and then it's game over, isn't it? I mean, we're barely in the 51st, 52nd minute, or whatever it was at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you know, is there a fire drill? Town fans, I think Colin said there was like 3,000 of them up there. might as well have come home at that point. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
because at 2-0, you've got a fighting chance. You at 2-0, the next goal is the key, isn't it? And we get back into it, and we've got a fighting chance of maybe getting another point. As it was, they turn it into a 3-0 game, don't they? And that was game over. But as I said earlier, you're seeing these kind of results week in, week out. We do Coventry 3-0. We go to Leicester, they beat us 3-1. Their home form hadn't been very good, had it, this season? That was only their fourth win at home. And I think they'd only won. That was only their second home win, having beaten Stoke, I think, in November, since August, really. So they're flattered to deceive and sort of treading water a little bit, haven't they, Leicester? There were a lot of people sort of favourites to be in they'd certainly be in the top 6, but they've not really done that yet, have they? But maybe they're on a bit of a tear now.
Well, don't worry, Town turns up. Dr. Town will see you now. You know, to send you on an amazing home run now, no doubt. No, our goal was a goalkeeping mistake. Absolutely, you can't get away from it. He passed it, but that's modern football. Just like Christian Walton's position, that's modern football. But I just want to, when I saw it live, and I haven't seen that goal back, because I haven't gone back and really looked at this game in too much detail, purely because why would you want to watch this again?
Yeah.
I love you all, but I don't love you all that much to watch it a second time. But yeah, and I just do you feel? And look, Christian Walton's made some really good saves, but do you feel with the number one goalkeeper, it's about consistency, and that's perhaps why he hasn't been a number one throughout his career? It's about the consistent level of it's okay making a save against Coventry, but you've got to do it every single week as that number one goalkeeper.
Well, he was that was his 100th game yesterday, wasn't it? His 100th appearance for Town yesterday. You might remember his debut was a disaster, wasn't it? Against Bolton, the 5-2.
I don't want to remember it. Why bring it back up?
Whilst we're looking back on fond memories of Town's history, the 5-2 at home to Bolton. That's when I said Cook's going to get a sack here, didn't I? That was only September, I think, as well. But I mean, look, would Alex Palmer have done any better? I mean, I've often say the goalkeeper's only as good as his defence. We were very good defensively against Stoke. I thought Stoke were a really good side on Wednesday, and Robbins was pleased with the performance, wasn't he? I mean, they didn't look anything like a side. I think Sky described Stoke as being a side that got bullied by Sheffield United 4-0 the previous weekend, a team we smacked for 5. They didn't look like a team could get bullied at all, really. But I mean, back to the point, whether or not Palmer would have done any better, I really don't know. But we had defended well on Wednesday, but we just didn't. We just didn't defend very well yesterday as a team. Like, we go back to the first goal, it's Clark and Nunes are culpable there. Then you've got that ridiculous pass from O'Shea that Philogene, and then Taylor gets nutmegged in the midfield and Fatabu scores. Then you see Davies falling over, and then we concede the same goal that we seem to do a lot this season in terms of the ball getting in and around the penalty spot and tapping it in. I don't think Palmer would have done any better, to be honest with you.
No, I agree. And do you think one of the underrated storylines of the season that isn't spoken about is the loss of Connor Townsend, in the sense of, do you feel away from home particularly you may have seen him a little bit more as that defensive left back?
I think he would have done. I think Davies, I think Davies and Philogene potentially created, Davies and Clark yesterday created our most chances. But when Townsend used to come in and play, for example, in the cup game in February against Coventry, I was like, he's done all right, but he's not as good as Davies going forward. I mean, why would...
Absolutely not, no.
Why would... Last time Davies was in the Championship, he broke the assist record for the division, didn't he? So Davies is always going to play. Unless he's injured, Davies is always going to play. The great thing about Connor Townsend is he's a really functional defender, quite good at set pieces, does a lot of things really, really well, but he's not Leif Davies. It don't give you the creativity threat that Leif Davies brings to the table.
No, agreed. All right, we're going to play some. I'm going to play some voice messages, but I need to change that. Well, I need to change that this week to voice message, because clearly Town have got beaten, and it pissed a lot of people off to the point where they didn't want to talk. So we've only got one voice message this week. So appreciate that one person who has left us a voice message. You can always get involved any time of the day, morning, noon, or night. Speakpipe.com/talkingtown. We want you to get involved. We've had some record numbers recently, so hopefully it's just a one-off. But here is your one voice message for this week.
I'm really starting to dislike a lot of this squad. There's just no mental strength. As soon as they go a goal down, we just all know what the outcome's going to be. I think it's becoming a bit of a problem this season. And I think probably last season killed us a little bit, but expecting so much more with all the alleged good recruitment that we've done this season. Everyone's sort of saying that McAteer should have started on the right. I didn't see that. I didn't see people saying that at 2:55 yesterday afternoon. So I think it's a little bit of Harry hindsight. Sorry, my voice is about as weak as the player's mentality. And so I think this whole argument that Clark on the right shouldn't be played again, but I just don't see how modern day footballers aren't able to play on either side of a pitch. I think it's probably down to the tactics and the mentality. And I think serious questions need to be asked about certain things that keep happening this season.
There's your voice messages, Matt. Thank you ever so much. That one person, you can always get involved. speakpipe.com/talking town. Mentioned a couple of things there, mentality being one of them. I started the show with that, with the question, does Kevin Mincher still work with the football club? I'd like that actually asked in a press conference, Matt, because obviously he is somebody that's worked with us previously. Oh, Yellow Boots, you may remember, in the dugout.
Yellow Boot Man. What was it?
Yeah.
What was his surname? Kevin
Mincher?
I remember the yellow. Everyone remembered the yellow shoes, didn't they? That was the thing. Yeah,
he's a performance coach. Because obviously, you know, to have that stat you've got as a team, that it speaks to mentality, does it not?
Yeah. I mean, I know who that caller is. I'm a friend of the show.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know more than I do.
I mean, look, I do. I do get that. It's frustrating because you go into the season. I mean, we spent a lot of money again bringing a lot of these players in, and it just seemed that, you know, when the chips are down, it gets all a little bit negative. I mean, look, we thought we were going to lose the Blackburn game, didn't we? We were 1 down and conceded, and we did get back into that. But I do agree with that. But I think it's just highs and lows of this. I mean, it's a very different side at home than it is away. As you saw, I mean, it'll be very interesting when we get to the end of this month. We play Coventry again, don't we? When we actually go there, whenever it is, the 29th or whatever. It'd be very interesting to see. Certainly, if they have like a Santi Thomas back and back in the fold, it'd be interesting to see how we perform away from. Look, we could be the same result as what you saw yesterday. The Coventry are firing on all cylinders. Because look, second half last week we brushed them aside, didn't we? Pretty routine. You come and play football against us at Bournemouth Road when we was in that mood, in that mindset. Routine, second half 3-0 easy. So it'll be interesting to see how we cope away from home. I don't give us much chance if we're in that kind of sort of tired, lull, 6 out of 10-ish kind of performance that we saw yesterday. That's not going to cut it at all for the rest of the season.
And before we go to our likes and dislikes, the caller also mentioned Casey McAteer. Should he have started? Shouldn't he have started? And as he rightfully and so correctly said, I didn't see or hear a single person at 5-3 saying, why is Jack Clark playing on the right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we said before we came on the show, it looked a good side on paper, as you rightly said, Martin. Unfortunately, we're not playing the game on paper. No. But I thought it looked good. I think it looked like a good side, to be honest with you. I thought Q-Stay done well when he came on. Obviously scores, doesn't he? Capitalises on the error they make in defence and puts it through the keeper's legs. I do wonder whether or not you might see him come back in against Sheffield Wednesday next week. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. We might get the old McKenna bingo balls might be out now after that yesterday. Because I mean, look, he's done what everyone wanted. Minimal changes, wasn't there? He brought a returning Hurst back in. Egley was ill. So would Egley have started on the right? I mean, who knows when he was taking.
He's gone from one extreme to the other.
Well, is that panic mode?
I don't know what it is, and I spoke about it on one of my members only shows, which had to been in the end. His job as the manager is to manage the group of players and select the team that he feels is best for that job. What isn't feasible, Matt, is making 5 changes every game, which is we were kind of in that territory of 5 changes every single game. That's not feasible, short term or long term. Equally, end of a busy period, end of a 3-game week, you've got to manage the group and you've got to know when you can make those changes. And I think yesterday, and I'm not saying that's why the result was the result, but that's when you've got license to make your 4, 5, 6 changes because of fatigue, because you've played 2 heavy games already against 2 teams which are good sides that are going to press and chase. And Stoke was such a hard. Like, I was really surprised to see Jayden Philogene in the 11 yesterday after playing as many minutes as he did Wednesday night. I was so surprised.
Yeah, I would have thought if I'd done like the Leicester preview show with you, I probably would have thought Philogene would have gone to the bench, as we said earlier. Doesn't seem to do, doesn't seem to put up any trees, particularly away from home, does he? I'd have stuck Clark on the left and probably would have played McAteer against his old side, against his boyhood club, and see what he brings to the table. I mean, I saw in the Discord earlier, and probably on some of the comments here, everyone's still having a go at him and all that kind of thing. He has created a lot of chances. I keep saying, up until Eagley scoring the goal was last week. Their stats are pretty much on a par, really. And Eagley's obviously now got a couple of goals and probably moved ahead. But I mean, look, McAteer put some decent things in the box. Unfortunately for us, and this comes back to your Hurst or Ivan or whoever it is, or Nunes arriving late into the box from the 10, not being there to tap it in.
Does it? Do you read anything into Casey McAteer not being selected ahead of Jack Clark? Casey McAteer is a right winger. Jack Clark is not a right winger. He's not started any of the 3 games this week. Do you read anything into that? Because I read a little bit into it.
What would be your take on that then? Not trusted. Is that what you're saying?
The confidence level, the trust in that he's the better option. Yeah, he's brought him in. I don't care about the fee. It could be £1 million, £12 million, £500 million. That I don't care about the money. It ain't my money. But not to start him any of the 3, not to play him ahead of Jack Clark. Is there? I just feel the confidence level perhaps this isn't quite there yet. That's what I read into it. That's my impression.
Maybe. It's an odd one, isn't it? It's a really odd one. That you paid upwards of 12 mil. I mean, it came out of nowhere, didn't it? Like the Ogbenny transfer in the Premier League, that came out of nowhere. Where's Ogbenny now? On loan at Sheffield United. So yeah, they were both sort of curveball signings, really. Yeah, I do agree with that. And certainly when you think that Clark has had like he scores against Swansea on the left-hand side, cuts in, curls it in with his right foot. Game was kind of crying out for that yesterday for me. And you just don't, we just don't get it. I mean, maybe McKenna, we were talking about it earlier. I think maybe McKenna has now confused himself with all of this, and that doesn't actually know what the best solution is.
Well, because that's his job. That's his job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty certain. I reckon Egley was supposed to start, and maybe he got taken ill 24 hours before, woke up that morning under the weather, a bit like myself, and then suddenly they've had to change the game plan slightly. We don't know whether or not that was asked in the press conference afterwards. Not sure. To agree with the speak pipe, on paper at 2:55, we all thought, oh, this looks all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Once you go 1 down after 8 minutes, then you're thinking, oh, shit.
You're thinking, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We are, of course, partnered with Stomach Osteopaths, delivering quality care in stomach since 1985. That's osteopath and physiotherapy services. Freddie's the governor there. Give him a call. 01449 613 633. 01449 613 633. And tell him Talking Town has sent you. Stomach Osteopaths for osteopath and physiotherapy services. All right. Likes and dislikes. Now, Matthew, this is quite simple. It's what you liked. It's what you didn't like. And we'll break it down. You want to go first, or do you want me to give you a like or a dislike first?
Have you actually got a like? I'll go. My like is probably Cahuste coming on, and I thought he did all right when he came on. I actually thought McAtee did all right when he came on, to be honest with you. But I mean, the game's dead and buried by that point, isn't it? But I do wonder whether or not we're going to see. I thought Cahuste did well when he came on against Stoke as well. I mean, I was listening to some of the BBC Suffolk phone in last night. And had this guy on there, and he was saying, "Oh well, Cahuste's not a defensive midfielder. He was a very defensive midfielder for me last season in the Premier League, to the point we had no attacking threat whatsoever other than that goal he scores against Nottingham Forest. Well, you are seeing this version of Cahuste in the Championship in a level below is someone who's quite confident moving forward. You've seen it in a lot of his performances this season, and you saw it yesterday. Hence, he was there, Johnny on the spot to score the goal. I do wonder whether or not against a Sheffield Wednesday, a team low on confidence, going to get relegated on minus points. He might get the nod on Saturday to play in there. I'm right in thinking Matasiwa didn't get a yellow yesterday, did he?
No, he didn't. He got. No, that's one of my likes. McKenna.
Was that one of your likes? Was it?
McKenna taking, one of my likes was because there's very so few the likes from yesterday. But I really liked that McKenna took Matasiwa off early to avoid a yellow card. I said in the Discord, mate, we went 2-0 down. Bring him off now. Because had very little confidence Town would get back into the game at 2-0 down, but I had a lot of confidence that Maddison would probably get a yellow card and rule himself out for a couple of games.
It was actually a game to. Well, does he miss 2 games?
I believe he misses 2 games. Yeah, if he gets one, which he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
So he's still okay at the moment. But yeah, I liked that he took him off. I liked that he recognised that perhaps the situation was what it was, and he should take him off. I tell you what, I really disliked yesterday, and I've disliked it for a long time, and I don't like it, and I want it to change. I just don't see how it changes, or if it.
The away strip.
Well, no, I can't stand that. But that's not what it was. I really dislike how urgent we are with the football. Even after getting the goal back, and you're thinking maybe you're in this game, maybe Leicester have handed you a way back in, and they start to rock. Our urgency, our tempo with the football is just non-existent. It's non-existent. At times, you would think Town are the team winning by 3 goals, or Town are the team in control, or it's a pre-season friendly. It's non-existent. I don't just dislike it, Matt. I hate it. I absolutely hate how little urgency and tempo we place on that ball.
Oh yeah, I often say that to the guys sat around me at Portman Road. Like, everyone thought we was winning this game when it's like 0-0, 1-1, or 2-2, whatever it is. That, I think, is probably a byproduct of the newer squad coming in. Because when you think back to the team that drove us back,
but even last year, I know we're in a league above, but we had no urgency and no pace on a transition. We were very slow.
Yeah. You didn't have that in the promotion sides.
Nope.
Because there was that more, like people call it in the comments here, don't they? It was that kind of band of brothers style of thing, and there was that more togetherness of thing. They'd been on the journey, as Ashton likes to call it, together. And Chaplin, Burns, they were the kind of players that were bringing that urgency to think. You may see that if whenever Wes does return, you might see that come to the forefront a little bit. If he's still in the building, my money's on him going on loan in January. I think he'll probably go. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. I just think it's the churn of players, isn't it? Old favourites leaving the club, new players coming in.
I don't
think that's translated over.
I disagree. I view it as more of a tactical approach, a methodical approach. We're going to be patient with the ball today. We're not going to force it too many times. We're going to make the safe pass, the assured pass. If it isn't there, check back. Don't do it. It's almost like the handbrake is on. But
you're procrastinating, aren't you? Which is why then we get into the 500 plus passes realm, isn't it?
Because we don't want to be. I'll say it. We don't want to be risk takers. We don't want to be a team, it appears too many times, that play that risky pass or attempt that through ball. You could say we tried to do it with Dara O'Shea, but that arguably is the wrong play to try and do it for their second goal. But again, it wasn't a pass where you're thinking, was that quite on, or it was behind the back line. It was into midfield. It should have been a better pass. But we're slow. We take a touch on the ball. We stand. We have our 5 attacking players on their heels. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, no. I do totally agree with you. I mean, look, you have had flashes of really good tempo. How we started the game at Loftus Road, for example. Mm-hmm. Eagerly down the right, cross in, George Hurst header. You won up within 60 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing. They can do it. Stoke Wednesday. Wednesday. Really good. Really good. Shows you what you can do. But like yesterday, get a goal back. It's 3-1. Let's get faster with this ball. We get faster. They get shakier. You get a second.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
The problem is that tempo away from home, isn't it? And we got out of jail against Hull, didn't we? Because we played like that in the first half there, didn't we? And then suddenly out of nowhere, you get the Nunes header, don't you, from the Philogene cross, I think it was. But that had been slow, sluggish. And we've said that a lot this season. And sometimes you just can't get out of jail, can you? Especially if you've gone 2 goals down in the first half at Leicester.
Yeah. Any other likes, dislikes? What else you got in that bag of likes and dislikes?
Did you want to come to? You said George Hurst earlier. Was this in your dislikes list?
Yeah.
I mean, you love George. Let's caveat whatever you're going to say. I don't know what Ryan's going to say, everyone, but you do like George Hurst. He gave you one of your greatest moments, didn't he? At Barnsley.
Yeah.
So where's
it in football, Matthew? It's a what have you done for me lately business, not a what have you done full stop. Look, listen. I didn't like watching George Hurst play football yesterday. I'm going to be honest. No. I'm going to be honest.
I'm sure George Hurst didn't like it either.
I'm sure he didn't like it.
Man of touches.
Look, midweek, I said, or was it midweek or Saturday? They sort of blur into one. First half, George Hurst, you could have you could have taken him off at half time and not batted an eyelid. Second half, he came out, was unplayable. I think it was Saturday against Coventry. He came out unplayable. George Hurst of old, almost Velcro, as I used to call him, because everything sticks to him, including centre halves. Yesterday, I just didn't enjoy watching George Hurst play. No. His movement was non-existent. When he did have movement off the ball, I always felt it was the wrong type of movement into the wrong area. He didn't play the channels. He didn't hold the ball. And you mentioned a few times there, Casey McAteer flashing the ball across the box or whatnot. I want to see, before the season's over, George Hurst getting across a man at the near post. I just want to see once George Hurst getting across his man at the near post for a cross coming into the box. Just give it to me once, please.
Yeah. And it goes, but we're going full circle here because you go back to what the other options are currently in Akpom and Ivan. I don't think they're going to give you that either.
No, but people say George Hurst doesn't get any service. I don't know if he doesn't get any service or if his runs aren't creating the opportunity for the service.
I mean, look, we're one of the leaders in chances created this season, aren't we? As a side, it's just how it so happens that Coventry have got better finishers than us in Hadji Wright, Santi Thomas, Ellis Sims. They've actually tucked those chances away. Those three players there I've just mentioned. All three are much better than what we've got.
Yeah,
right now. Well, we've got 20 goals more, pretty much. I would say, and we're trying to compete with them, aren't we? We've pretty much a below, well, I would say a mediocre front options. I would say, and Smodix has been in and out the side. He plays in the 10, obviously, but we know he can score goals, but he doesn't play in that 9. The eternal conversation of we have not replaced Delap, but you would see in the Premier League that Delap would be non-existent. I'm thinking back to Arsenal. Remember that game at the Emirates? We lose, what was it, 1-2-0, whatever it was, I can't remember. I mean,
the Emirates lost 1-0.
Yeah,
Broad had an opportunity right at the end of the game where he could have equalised, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I remember it like it was yesterday. We set new Opta stats.
That was
my
it.
Friend.
Yeah. So I mean, even someone of Delap's caliber against, I mean, we're talking about one of Europe's best sides here, aren't we? Against Arsenal, could be frozen out of the game a little bit. But
look, we've reached George Hurst's ceiling. I feel this is where this is.
Well, you've got Delap's understudy now in the Premier League, now leading the line in the division below. I still think he's an understudy striker, to be honest with you. They need someone who's better than Akpom, better than Ivan, better than George Hurst, starting week in, week out. I don't know who that is. I mean, look, we've got a history of going back in for people we've had previous windows. And I think Latte Laff, I keep saying it, have a shot every time I say the Latte Laff.
I don't think he'd be good enough, if I'm honest. I don't think he'd be.
He would.
What for where you want to? I mean, don't forget, we were told we're going to be signing players that are going to be Premier League players because we're looking at.
We wanted to be in the Premier League.
Is he a Premier League striker?
Good point.
I would say no.
Good point. I don't know, but
I don't think Casey McAteer is a Premier League right winger, and I don't think George Hurst is a Premier League striker. So marrying up what we told, what actually happens, is different things. But yesterday, Matt, I just felt he was so easy to play against. He didn't run the channels.
Yeah,
he didn't hold the ball up. And if you're a centre half, I would have absolutely delighted playing George Hurst yesterday because it would have been very, very, very straightforward for me, all in front of me. And no threat of going in behind.
Well, Trevor's saying there, Colton Morris would have been a good, decent signing. He's doing well at Derby, isn't he? I suppose the thing for us, which we should have really seen, the forewarning was there, wasn't it? That we've come down without the guy who made everything happen for us in the Premier League and scored all the goals, top scorer in Delap. We lost him, so we've had no continuity, and he's brought in. The Delap understudy in Hurst, who's done League One to Premier League and back into the Championship again, been on the entire journey, and 2 new lone faces in Akpom and Ivan. And I suppose you look at someone like Ellis Sims, who you used to really like, didn't you? And when he went from, I think, Everton to Coventry, I mean, that might have been someone, if we had signed, would have gone into the Premier League with us and then back down into the Championship. And then you've got some continuity there. We haven't had it, have we? This is the issue with a leading striker in that position. We haven't got a leading striker in that position. This is the problem. I'm
right in thinking Gallagher, who came on for
Sam Gallagher, on Wednesday,
Stoke, was a player that we were sliding doors moment. Actually, wasn't it? Because he was almost signed.
Yeah,
if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's not even getting into the Stoke side at the moment.
But my argument there is he wouldn't have been the answer either.
Well, the kid who actually started up top for Stoke, the loanee from West Ham, I think was at West Ham or maybe on loan from Man City, somewhere along those lines. We got links with him as well, but whether he'd been the answer, I don't know. I mean, again, look, Kiefer Moore always gets mentioned, doesn't he? I'd like to have signed Kiefer Moore as well. I mean, who knows why he didn't sign for us? Someone of that ilk, really, and that's who they'll be looking at. That's who they'll look at in January, I think. Someone like a Kiefer Moore on the bench in the Premier League who can.
Is it a blind spot?
He'll come down.
Is it a blind spot on? Is it a blind spot on the recruitment dashboard? Because if you look at the strikers over the course of the last few seasons, and you remove the name Liam Delap, and you also look at the players you have been linked with, like Gallagher, who, all intents and purposes, I think if Blackburn could find a replacement for, would have been an Ipswich Town player. Are any of them, like Ellis Sims, Gallagher, the players we have had come in, Joe Piggott, etc., have any of them really been ones you would say that's the answer?
Probably. I don't think he probably would have been the answer, to be honest with you. I don't think he would have been. It's going to be really difficult. I mean, I am sort of, I am worried about that going into the new year. Because look, everything about this squad, really, on paper, should be top two. Arguably should be champions, really. But as we said earlier, ain't paid on paper, is it? At the moment, we're still in fifth, I would say, playing in second gear. There's lots more gears for this squad to go through. It's whether or not they're going to be able to put a run together that you see as you go into gear 3, 4, and 5. We're not seeing it away from home. This is the issue. I mean, let's not be too downbeat. We've had 2 really good results. I didn't think the Stoke performance was very good. But we've had 2 really good results in a week at Portman Road.
We have.
So you've taken 6 points from 3 games there. 2 points a game average. That generally is your promotion form, isn't it? But it's just the away form which is so sketchy. You just don't know what's going to happen.
The disappointing thing, obviously, is that you're not in the Coventry position, not just because you want to be in the top 2, but also because when you get to January in the Coventry position with the potential money you've got behind you, you do perhaps start to appeal to players that want to play in the Premier League. So, for example, and I'm not saying this is a name that would happen, but Ioannidis, the Greek striker that we had money on the table for not once but twice or maybe even 3 times.
Yeah.
If you were still interested in him and you were sitting in the Coventry position, 10 points, 15 points, however many points it will be come January the 1st, players and agents then start to look at it and go, okay, well, you go there, you play in that league for 3 months, you get accustomed to how the manager wants you to play, but you're going to be a Premier League player at the end of it.
Well,
whereas sitting in 5th, 15 points away from the league leaders, or however many points it's going to be come Jan 1st, that sale pitch to those players that perhaps want to play in the Premier League this time next year becomes that little bit harder to convince that you are going to be the right opportunity. So you are looking at a different level of player, perhaps.
Yeah, nothing was harder than trying to prize that Ioannidis out of Greece. When he went back 3 or 4 times, didn't they?
We left cash on the table. It was there whenever you want to take it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the answer is as someone who's playing in the champ already. I mean, I see Craig at Winchester there, friend of the show, the lad at Millwall, Ivanovic. I mean, look, they're ahead of us at the moment. Why would he want to swap teams? But I mean, maybe you look at someone like Santi Thomas, who was probably just a bit of an average striker. I mean, if you watched the class of '92 and that, he started his career at Salford, didn't he? Then he moves it to West Brom and was probably just a bit of an average striker there. For whatever reason under Lampard, he's already hit double figures. I think he's on 10 at the moment until he got his injury. Maybe there's someone in the circling around the division at the moment that could come in under McKenna, hit the ground running and fire us into the top 2. Am I getting too Roy the Rovers there? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. Well, I mean, look, Josh Sargent would probably be the answer to team back up with Nunes again, but I don't think you can go back to that well twice, can you?
No. Paul says our recruitment in the last couple of years leaves a lot to be desired overall. We need to make signs in January, but do we trust our recruitment team to get it right? I wonder if they'll look at perhaps the French league again. They've had some success there with Matasiwa. We know over Ashton's career, he has often gone back to that division and shopped really well there. Maybe there's somebody in France that they view could be a potential incoming. Yeah, I'm not. The French division is not one I'm up with.
Remember, I mean, it was pivotal when talking of Leicester, when Leicester won the league. Of course, they got Mahrez in from the French second division.
Yeah.
I mean, what a debut season he had for Leicester. Well, I think it was his debut season, winning certainly the second season, winning the Premier League with them.
I just don't feel, Matt, sorry to jump in, I just don't feel currently there isn't anybody in your division without spending a mass amount of money to prize them away from wherever. Because like Millwall, they've got ambitions of their own, and to sell, it would take big money. A Coventry, for example, if you really fancied one of their strikers, again, why would they sell? And if they did sell, it would be a hefty price. And I look at the Premier League's options, and I think, is there anybody there on loan I would take? And the options are very limited, very limited. There's no like Kiefer Moore for me at the moment, where you think has done it at this level, isn't getting in the Bournemouth team. Yeah, okay, I can view that one. So perhaps it has to be somebody from the French division, from the Dutch league, from the German league, from Greece, wherever it may end up being.
I did wonder. So I did have a little look and see what some of the Premier League options were. I did wonder, obviously, McKenna liked Dane Scarlett, didn't he? And brought him in, and he had to go back to Spurs. But he did like a dozen games for us and didn't really do anything. I know the season, obviously that was the season we went up, but I think. And then when we was in the Premier League, I think he went to Oxford and did all right there, didn't he? But would he be the answer? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I really don't know. If we're struggling here, Martin, I'd be very interested to see what the dashboard is printing out day by day in Mark Ashton's office at Portman Road.
It isn't just a centre forward. You're also going to need a 10, because if
your answer's there. I would bring Chaplin back.
No. Not
you're talking like tempo and stuff. We'll bring back someone who's integral to that play in Connor. Because he's not been brought in to be the 10, has he? He's in there at the moment because we've had Smodics is out injured, Akpom isn't firing particularly, and Chaplin's gone to Fratton Park. But solve the issue by bringing Chaplin back. You've
got this. Your biggest issue is right now. There's not enough players separating themselves from the squad. You could pick any number of players in any different positions, and you could get very much the much. You need to have someone start to separate themselves, whether that's Sammy Smodics in the 10, now he's back fair, whether that's Chuba Akpom as a striker or as a 10, whether that's Azon, whoever it is, because at the moment you're saying bring Chaplin back. You could, but are you going to get too many different results as to what you've got out of Nunez, Smodics and Akpom? Probably not. You're the right-hand side, you could play Clark on there. You're not going to get much different than you would do if you put McAteer there. Yeah, there's too many players at the moment, as you could just say, who you're picking. Well, you could pick anybody.
Yeah. Trevor's asking, would you send Akpom back? I mean, again, he's someone, if we can, it's easier said than done, isn't it? He could just score that first goal. Who knows what might happen?
He scored first goal. He played since. Yeah, scored at Hull.
Oh, of course he did, yeah.
And he's barely played since.
Yeah, see, look, there you go. I even forgot about it.
It's not often I correct you. It's not often I correct you. Note it down in the history books. Put it down on this day, the 14th of December at 1534. The Gov knew more than Matthew.
Well, maybe we do.
Put it down.
He's not moved on, has he, since he scored that first goal? Yeah, how could I forget?
He's barely played since, to be fair to him.
Yeah. What we really need is a returning Smodics to come in and hit the ground. That's what we really want to see.
Is it?
Like when he scores at Tottenham, he scores against Manchester City. He needed to start scoring at Pullman Road, is what we need.
Is it true, the stat I've got in my head, that he hasn't scored at Pullman Road yet?
And scored at Pullman Road yet, in a blue shirt. I mean, he adds for Blackburn.
Oh, yeah, everyone scored against Town.
But not for Town, no.
Wow.
So you've got, look, no one argued with either of those signatures when they came in. You see Akpom scored 30 goals for Borough, ditto Smodics in that 2 seasons ago for Blackburn. Where we're being critical about recruitment, don't be critical. That's 60 goals into the building right there, but for whatever reason, are we not playing to the strengths? Don't know. Not sure. Weird to me.
Sorry. Okay, right. There we go. Yeah, it is weird to me. It is weird to me as well. I've got two lovely children just appeared at my door here.
They want their dad back, everyone.
They would like to know where their toothbrush is. I don't know why they want to know where their toothbrush is at 3:30 in the afternoon, but apparently it's must have information. So I was trying to listen to you with this ear and take this ear away and know what was being asked of me.
Dental hygiene. You've trained them well. We're off out soon anyway, aren't you? So we're going to have to wrap up the show.
We are. We're early today because I'm going to go to a Chris Dingle service. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been anybody, but it's where you get an orange, you wrap a red ribbon around it, you put some candles on it, some sweets on it. They represent the seasons of the year. I love it. One of my favourite things to do at Christmas is a Chris Dingle. Because you get your little stick, you put your sweet on the stick, one for you. On the stick, one for you. It's like
Everyone wins.
double
Yeah.
bubble. Beautiful stuff. But no, thank you for being with us. Great comments there as always, Matt, and we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the week, it's 6 out of 9 points, and it's the same type of things we're talking about after a Town away performance. Going a goal behind, needing to show more, needing to do more, all these different things that we've been talking about. Feels like now forever, but in reality, it's probably only been this season because we can't really count the Premier. Well, we can. Yeah, well, that's a whole new conversation in itself. Do you count the Premier League season against them or not? But it's in the history books, and we're wrapping it up, as we say. We're back live Wednesday. Very special show on Wednesday. Well, special from my point of view only. We are live at 8 p.m. It's our match preview for Sheffield Wednesday. And joining me is my brother, who is a Wednesday fan, making his debut on Talking Town, alongside his Formula One co-hosts, Steve and Neil. So it's a 4-man show on Wednesday. So do come and join us as we give you the Town perspective, but also hear the Sheffield Wednesday perspective as well. He's a very grumpy fella, so it should be a good show.
Yeah, there's always someone worse off than yourself. And when you're in minus points, poor old Sheffield Wednesday, I feel terrible for him, really. That's, again, bear by the grace of God, with ownership. Could easily have happened under Evans of Ipswich, couldn't it? Just falling right through.
Yeah. That's even if we're still talking, because me and my brother are very much like the Gallagher brothers. We fall out and fall in more times than the Gallagher brothers. We're known as the Gallagher brothers. So if we're still talking, he'll be live on the show with us Wednesday as well. But it's a long time till Wednesday. Time shall tell. But until then, he has been the media mogul, Matthew Phillips. You have been a wonderful audience as always. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, take care. God bless. See you Wednesday, 8 p.m. You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.